We are live, and this is Coach Arnie with the Health, Love, and Life Show. And we're going to talk about laughter tonight. But before we get there, don't forget to follow me on all the different social media. I have not been as active on TikTok lately. Just a lot of things going on in my world, doing some different work with a partner. And TikTok's fun, but it hasn't been it's not where my ideal clients, but I'm there. I go in there and follow up, still get followers and stuff, and still have some crazy videos on there, and it's kind of fun. But I've been hanging out more on LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram, and but I'm out there, and you can Google me or you can call me 602-390-9144, and let's set up a time to talk, or you can also go to ArnieFonseca.com. I've also got CoachArnie.com. You can set a time to talk, or just call me. It's no big deal. And I'm pushing back into the workplace as people are starting to come back to work. Here in Arizona, it's been a little up and down. So I'm trying to get in there to work with teams and help them to work through, feeling safe at the workplace, not just because of COVID, but because of, in general, being safe. I had a client last week who had a rough weekend because his team gave him some unfair feedback. He kind of asked for it. But from a HR standpoint, it was illegal what they did. So, and his manager was there, so shame on them, but he didn't know that. And he asked for some technical feedback, and he got a lot more than that, which, like I said, crossed the boundaries. And so he doesn't feel safe. So we've been working all week on him forgiving, because I don't want him to go through, even though they're working at home, but when people have to go back to work, that causes a raise in anxiety, which is what we're seeing. Because they're safe at home, anxiety goes up when they think they have to go back to work. So I do stuff like that because companies really want to keep a good employee, because it costs money to let people go. So tonight we're going to talk about laughter. And, it's interesting. It came up with a client of mine who he's a retired medical doctor. And whenever I've known him for 25 years or so. And I used to love to go into his office because I could always hear him laughing, booming from the back. I could hear him. And there's power in that. And I thought, I wonder what the science is here. So I just started fooling around with it. And I thought, wow. And forgive me if I am looking at stuff tonight, my computer, which my wife was not here. She's my tech person. The printer wasn't working, so I couldn't print up some of the things I wanted to, but I made some previous good notes. So I'm going to, because I wanted to read through some things that I found, which were pretty interesting. But I want to start off with a couple quotes here. If you're too busy to laugh, then you're too busy. That's from Proverbs, for those of you that read the Bible. And doesn't that make sense? I love that. Because we've all been through that where we're just so serious. I'm serious. Some people wear serious on their face all the time. Even if they're feeling good, they wear serious. So it's like, man, don't bother Arnie because he's serious. And I may be thinking great things, but I'm wearing it here. And so think about that for a second. If you're too busy to laugh, so if somebody's telling a joke or you hear laughter in the office and you can't take 10 seconds away from your project to go out and go, what's you guys laughing about? What's going on over there? You're too busy. You're too busy. So I want you to think about that. And I got a few more little quotes I found as we kind of run through some of this stuff here. Because there's a lot of good research out there that shows the power. And some of the things I'm going to roll through here, they may duplicate each other a little bit, but it's just so powerful. And I think the more we hear it, the more important it's going to be. Because, look, I'm just as serious as everybody else. I want to be successful. I want to make an impact. I want to inspire. I want to make lots of money. But at the same time, I want to enjoy myself. I want to enjoy life. I want to look at things not so much from the view of, like I was just saying, everything is serious, or I have to be, here's the word, I have to be professional. I have to be professional. I have to look good. I have to, dress incredibly well. I mean, I see it all the time. When I first started to do social media, and there's still a lot of people that believe this, I was under the impression that, and I have a daughter who's really, she hasn't said it lately, but if I put out a video that wasn't perfect, she'd say, Dad, that video wasn't perfect. I mean, that's what I heard. Versus then I listened to other people that were doing incredibly well, and they said, quit worrying about that. Just create it. You'll get better. Content. And then other people say, no, you don't want to do that because then you're not professional. So you know what ends up happening? Because I've talked to a lot of people, nothing. People do nothing because they're confused. So they do nothing. So kind of laughter is kind of the same thing. If they go into the office and they don't feel this safety and camaraderie with their team, and somebody's telling a joke or telling a funny story about their weekend, and they don't feel like they can engage or even listen to it because they don't feel like they belong, that's a problem. So because everybody who's telling a funny story wants people to listen to it. They don't care. And they want people to laugh, and you can laugh. And by you laughing, you create this connection. Yeah. If it's funny, laugh. Now, one of the things I want to talk about too is the fact that, and I love the aspect of, but there's been so many workplace rules in the last, let's say 10, 15 years, really. And one of the things that I found that I thought was pretty interesting was that the downside, because what if somebody's telling a dirty joke? I mean, that used to be really common. And then there's females in there, or there's men in there too. I mean, women can be just as tough as guys can. And somebody feels uncomfortable. We got to be careful. Or we're telling jokes that might offend a race or whatever ethnicity, gender, whatever it might be. Again, let's be careful when we're doing that. But at the same time, one of the things that I've read countless psychologists saying, besides all that, let it fly. Let those jokes fly. Get that place rocking and rolling a little bit. And here's something I want to read to you real quick that I thought was really neat. Here it is. Here we go. Here we go. Laughter. Yeah. And this is pretty common. Laughter relieves stress and boredom, boosts engagement and well-being, and spurs not only creativity and collaboration, but also analytic precision and productivity. That's pretty cool. That's a lot of stuff. Isn't that what we're all trying to do anyways? Isn't that? I mean, from a relationship standpoint, when I'm coaching couples or people, a lot of times, especially on the female side of it, and I'll have them list the things that they're looking for and qualities that are on their list. And one of the things that comes up notoriously, I want someone that makes me laugh. That's right. A lot of times. Very common. Especially for females, for guys. Now, I mean, again, and all this is timing, but people that just don't take life so doggone seriously are a joy to be around, aren't they? I mean, think about it. And they do bring, look at that title, The Power of Laughter. They do bring power to the workplace through their laughter, through their nonsense. I mean, through their just acting goofy once in a while. I mean, isn't it amazing when you see a CEO or some high-level administrator just, maybe doing a dance in the office or just doing something goofy? Think about it. It makes you think, wow, this place is kind of special, doesn't it? Don't you think that? I bet you do. I bet you do. So what I want to do now is I'm going to kind of roll through some things that I found that I thought were interesting in the world of laughter in the workplace. And again, laughter in the workplace can easily be shifted into laughter at home. Because I think that's a big problem with a lot of couples as well. They take things too seriously. Everything serious. See, I like to have two mirrors. The reflection of me at work and the reflection of me at home. And if that thing balances out, that's pretty good. You're doing a good job. So if you're goofy at the office, but you're Mr. Serious at home, that's a problem. To take a word that was very common a few years ago, that's not very authentic. Be yourself. So if you're the fun, goofy guy, be that guy. If you're Mr. Serious, that's okay. Be yourself. But at the same time, if you're just putting on a show for attention, I don't know. But if you can do that at the office, then you can do it at home too. I mean, why not? Or not at all. I mean, that's your choice as well. So I'm going to run through some things here that I thought were pretty cool and powerful when we're talking about laughter. First thing is, laughter lightens your load. Yeah. Think about all the things we have going on in our life, relationships, kids. Now that school's starting, how are my kids going to school? What's going to happen here? Are they going to wear a mask? Or not going to wear a mask? Is my state going to open up? Or, am I going to get sick? Or my, mom and dad getting sick? I don't know. All this stuff's going on. It's too much. And then my work, I'm working from home, and my boss has me doing 5 different projects at one time, and it's like, whoa. What the research shows is that taking a laughter break, watching a funny movie, listening to some jokes will relieve that stress. It helps you to focus on the good stuff going on in your life, your health. You're in a relationship. You're happy. You got stuff going on. So instead of there being there dwelling on the 5 projects you're working on and what your kids are going to do when you don't even know, that's just anxiety. You get to focus on kind of good stuff. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. It creates a positive work environment. I already mentioned that a little bit here. It creates a positive work environment. I mean, look, there's nothing like it. Even when everybody's working and doing, on it, got their cubicles and their computers going and on the phone making sales calls. If somebody walks by and has a red nose on his face and is doing something goofy, the guy on the phone, you know what he's going to do? He's going to smile. He's going to still keep his call going, but he's going to smile. He's not going to go. He's going to smile. And he's going to remember that. Now, when he gets off the phone, he's going, man, you goofball, what are you doing? You're trying to goof up my sales call. No, just got to try to make you smile, man. That's all. It's going to make you smile. And that's what it does. It does create a positive work environment. It also draws teams together. Man, I have been studying this stuff about teams as I'm going back into the workplace and working with teams. Because especially when you've had this work at home, it's just been crazy. Because at some point it's going to have to come back together. And teams that have this shared vulnerability, where they have a shared risk. They have a we're here, we're going here mentality. We're together in this thing. When you inject laughter into that environment, it brings people together, man. It really does. It's powerful. It brings teams together. There's nothing like it. I mean, from high-end teams like the Navy SEALs, I mean, they'll be joking around with each other and teasing each other, but in the middle of a tough exercise, a tough training exercise, the guys that are doing really well will fall back and help the other guys because he's on their team. And that's what's so important about it in the office as well. If we're in this together and we're going over there, this is our goal. This is where we're going. We're here, we're going there. And somebody gets behind on a project, there's going to be people that are going to circle back and help them. They will. Because we're going to the same place. It's true. And you don't get that at home. You don't get that by working on your own. You just don't. So it creates a positive draws teams together. It helps to recharge. Man, have you ever watched them come home and just turn on a funny movie? You feel better. Good grief. You could be as stressed out as they come. You can come home and have half a bottle of wine, 6-pack of beer. You won't feel nearly as good as from watching a funny movie. You won't. Laughing and just losing, you almost like you get in flow because you start losing track of time and you don't need anything else. And that's powerful. And it works. And it's free. It's free. And it's drug-free too. And it works. So think about that. All right. How about cuts through the tension? Cuts through the tension. Listen, I'm going to read you a quote here from Red Skull. No matter what your heartache may be, laughing helps you forget it for a few seconds. Seconds. That was Red Skull. Famous. He was the clown's clown. See, in the recovery field, the difference between doing it and not doing it is a few seconds. Interrupting that thought. I need the drink. I need the drug. I need this. I need that. And if you can interrupt that, as Red Skelton said, for just a few seconds, you can beat this thing, whatever it is. And the same thing goes in the office, home, wherever you might be. If you can inject some humor, some laughter, watch something funny, listen to something funny. I have a thing on my phone, a comedy channel, and I just click it on when I'm feeling a little stress. And comedians from all over, from 50 years ago to up today, and just good humor. It doesn't get into, political stuff. It's just good old fashioned humor. And man, I tell you what, 10, 15 minutes of that, and you're like, bam, time to go back to work. All right, guys, listen, we're going to take a quick break here, and then we'll be right back with some more great information on laughter. This is WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network, radio, TV, and podcasts. All right, we are back. And so that was cut through the tension. Just interrupting a pattern. That's what laughter can do. It can interrupt the pattern for just a couple seconds. Super important. Boost creativity. Wow. There's a lot of stories about pretty famous people that use drugs. And I know people today that do that. They call it microdosing and different things they do. And they'll use drugs to create creativity. But you know, laughter can do that. Humor can do that in your own brain because you relax. And when we relax, we think. That's why when I'm out on a hike or doing something that's relaxing, man, my brain's like going click, 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 all these ideas. So I hope I have something to write it down with. But yeah, it boosts creativity. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Just from watching some funny movies or some comic making you laugh, or your friend or your partner making you laugh. Big stuff. And here's just a general one. Makes us happy to work. It makes us happy. We're at work, we're working, and we got a little, maybe you got a smile on your face, you got a little toe tap, you know, somebody saying something funny, or you watched a funny clip, maybe you took a 5-minute break. You know, maybe once an hour you take a 5-minute break and you go to YouTube and watch a funny video. It makes you laugh. And it makes you want to get back to work. It works. It works, guys. And it works all the time. It works all the time. I'm going to share another thing with you. Laughter is contagious. So make sure you share information that you're hearing tonight with others. It's contagious. Share it. Share this stuff. Don't be afraid. It's what you're learning this stuff for. It's contagious. That's right. So one person starts laughing, everybody starts laughing. It's good stuff. All right. So now let's get into some fun stuff here. I just made a whole bunch of different notations on things that I read about laughter, and some, you know, different categories. Like the first one here is humor and execution, and I had stuff like it improves productivity. Humor, laughter improves productivity. We talked about it a little bit. Remember, I said there's going to be some crossover, but think about that in your workplace. Watching a funny video, listening to somebody tell a funny joke or being a story, gets you going a little bit. Feeling kind of fun. It improves productivity. You probably make 5 more phone calls because of that. Right? Yeah. Doesn't make sense, but it works. You know, it works. Improves productivity. Decreases stress. We already talked about that. It decreases stress. It does. Try it. If you don't have enough laughter in the workplace, if you're having to work from home, open up hey, look, I know because I'm talking to a lot of people. I know you're not grinding it all day long in front of your computer. So plus I advise people to take a 5-minute break every 45 minutes to an hour anyways, and walk around and loosen up those hips. But you can take a 5-minute break and watch a funny 2-minute video. Go get a drink of water or whatever you do. Go to the bathroom, watch that video, and like I said earlier, you'll be roaring to go again. How about it prevents burnout? Yeah, you know why? Back to what I was just saying about recovery, addiction, breaking that pattern. If you're grinding all day long and your boss is whipping you and saying, come on, we need 10 more phone calls, we need 2 more clients, and you're grinding, you're going to burn out. You're going to quit. You're just waiting for the opportunity. But a little bit of humor in there will prevent that. Works. It's true. Read a lot of stuff that it did. Why wouldn't you do it? If you were a manager or a boss, why wouldn't you bring that into the office? Good grief, man. You could be sending little funny links to your team all day long. Guarantee they remember you for it. Makes a difference. How about provides motivation? You think? Yeah. I mean, like I said, the 5-minute break, somebody coming in and telling a funny story. It just it makes you want to do stuff. It motivates you, inspires you. That's what laughter can do in the workplace and at home. It's true. Think about this. If somebody's telling funny stories and jokes and goofing around, what are you most likely going to do? You're going to ignore it, forget about it because you're a grumpy dude. No, you're going to go home and you're going to tell your spouse or your girlfriend or the kids about some goofy guy doing goofy stuff, and they'll laugh. I go, oh, Dad, that was funny. That guy's a knucklehead. So you just spread the laughter. And that's something. It works. It works. Oops. Hang on a second. Didn't want to lose that. It works. So, provides motivation. It increases the size of the paycheck. Oh my God, that's right. If you have a boss that's laughing a lot, that's joyful, do you know that those people compensate people more? Might be worth it. Might be worth it to get them rocking and rolling a little bit, right? Yeah, same with you. It works the same way with you. You become more giving as well because you feel good about yourself. You know, and giving doesn't have to be money, guys. Giving can be love. Giving can be attention. Giving can be time. Giving can be kindness. Doesn't have to be money. Think about that. Think about that. Boost brain power. Oof. It's true. It does. It creates a sense of belonging. It creates a sense of camaraderie. And that's one of my hopeful principles, you know, usefulness, belonging, being a part of something. It's true. I mean, and all of that, you know, creates energy in your mind. I mean, remember we were talking about creativity and decreased stress. All those things add up to this thing here being more powerful. Yeah, you think better. You're more clear. I mean, you feel safe. If you're laughing, you don't feel like someone's going to attack you. You're exposed actually because you're laughing. Yeah. So it increases decision making. Again, all related to brain power. But it's true. If you're in a good mood, if you're laughing, if you're listening to a funny story or watching a funny video or reading something funny. I mean, I love reading and watching something funny, even if it's just for a second. That second is powerful because it helps you, like I said earlier, clear your head. You make better decisions. You just think clearly. And it works. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, guys. It is. So try it. I mean, if you want to make better decisions, think about it. The last time you made a decision based on anger, was it a good decision? You know, I shared with somebody today. I said, now, I'm not telling you to do this all the time, but I've done it in my own life. I said, put a chip on your shoulder and show these guys what you got. Prove them wrong. Now, that's a competitive inspiration. And sometimes it works. I mean, it worked in my life, and I know a lot of people that it does work with. But it's not all the time. Not all the time. Okay? Because normally in anger, we don't make good, sharp decisions. We make angry decisions. So sometimes we have to kind of deep breath, calm down, think about it, and make a good decision. And being in a good mood helps you to do that. Open-mindedness. Yeah. It increases open-mindedness. We talked about that a few weeks back. We talked about being stubborn and all that stuff, and being open-minded and being closed-minded. But laughter, again, why? I mean, you can start putting two and two together with a lot of this stuff. More creative, better decision-making, open-minded. I mean, it just starts flowing, doesn't it? That's what I was saying. I was reading. I mean, almost everything I read, it was crazy how everything started connecting. Connect. Because one feeds off the other. Of course, you're going to be more open-minded and be more creative at the same time. It's almost a definition. So you can't be creative if you're locked into a certain dogma. This is the way it is, and there's no way that it's different. Well, that's not creative. Now, you might be right, but that's fine. But you don't get to the next level of challenging by not challenging the status quo. Now, values, I'm not talking about that. Deny the existence of God. I'm not telling you that kind of stuff. I'm telling you the way we do things, challenging the way we do things, the way we think. I'm not saying challenging your values. That's totally different. But being open-minded is part of that creativity. Increases new connections. This was kind of interesting because I poked around with this. Talked about it just a little bit, especially when you're in the workplace. It increases your ability to interact with the team. Like the gentleman that's having trouble that I coached, helped him through the week. Big anxiety problem and real bad HR stuff that happened not HR, but HR problematic stuff that he, because of negativity, he separated himself out from the group. But if they would have lightened it up, he would have been pulled into the group and they could have just had fun with it. Hey, yeah, what about that? Remember when you did that? That was funny too. How about that too? So there's that interaction and connection with people. That's a skill. And that's where good managers become good coaches and kind of help that along. Because most people don't have good people skills. It's true. So helps create new connections. Helps with problem solving. Again, see the connection here, everybody? Problem solving. That's right. It does. Clear head, thinking better, feeling creative, solve some problems. That's the power of laughter. That's the power of a funny movie or a funny video or a joke or something. I remember when I was teaching, and people would be teachers. We pass around all these goofy jokes and stuff all the time. Put them in your box. Back then, that was a long time ago. You could do goofy stuff, and everybody kind of embraced it. It was fun. Helps. This is a good one. Helps to get others to listen. Like me telling a funny quote. A day without laughter is a day wasted. Charlie Chaplin. Do you believe that? Think about it for a second. I mean, it's true. I don't know. See, sometimes, look, we all go through stuff. We've all been through deaths. Had both parents pass away. Had a son pass away. I don't wish that on anybody. But at the same time, telling somebody to quit dwelling on it doesn't help. But watching a funny movie, somebody laughing hysterically has a way of breaking the tension, as we said earlier, has a way of getting others to kind of listen to what we're trying to do. And that's what laughter does. It helps people to kind of focus in because we want to know what are they doing? Why are they laughing? What's going on here? What's so funny? It does. It pulls you in. It increases memory retention. I love all this brain stuff. Increases memory. It's true. All this brainy stuff is going on here. It's incredible. Increases your ability to persuade others. Yeah, why? Because now you got their attention. telling a funny story, joke, and you've got their attention. So now it's easier for you to persuade them, is it not? Think about that. Persuasion. It's pretty cool. It increases your ability to learn by watching funny things, clearing your head, being open-minded. Think of all the things we said here. Your learning ability gets better. Here's a fun one. It increases your likability. Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you? I mean, if you're not offending people and you're always the guy in the office or lady in the office that's telling funny stories, that's humoring people, that's picking people up, why wouldn't you be liked? That's an easy one. You know, you got to do it with authenticity, but if that's who you are, do it. That's who you are, do it. And again, coming back to connection, it helps us to connect with others. It does. You're the guy that tells all those funny jokes. Tell me more about yourself. Who are you? What do you do? What department are you in? I love your jokes. I love your stories. Mary was telling me that you told a funny story the other day about your vacation, and happens all the time, doesn't it? Happens all the time. Increases your rapport. Rapport is huge, especially in my field as a coach and a speaker. If I create rapport with my clients, then they refer people to me. They genuinely like me. They will use me as their trusted advisor because we have rapport. And humor is a big part of that. Laughter. Improves trust. Whew. Probably the most important thing in the workplace is trust. That's my number one thing. You know, what I value the most, besides, God, myself, family, or myself meaning my health, trust is right up there. It's a big value. And it's a big value for a lot of people. But, it improves trust. It improves trust. Another thing that is kind of interesting is, with this new, I don't know if there's any science behind it, but social distancing spreading out. Well, humor brings us together. I like to call it collisions. It creates more collisions, which is so good for our teams and so good for our families and so good for our workplace. The more collisions we have with other people, man, that's what life's about. It's not about spreading out. It's about coming together. That's why when you're at a football game or a concert or a big event, it's the idea of being around 40, 50, 60, 100,000 people that just makes it an incredible experience. Those collisions. So it decreases that. Improves leadership. It decreases conflict. It actually increases your opportunities. Yeah, people, why wouldn't people share with you opportunities for you? How's that? Isn't that great? Opportunities, you'll attract them because of your humor and your ability to laugh and stuff like that. Improves credibility with you and others laughing because you've dropped barriers and you've got credibility. You're somebody that's got you're a human being. You're not a robot. You're a human being. That's big. That's big. Credibility. This is huge, especially right now. It improves coping skills. Laughter does. We've kind of said it already. If you're ill, if you've got anxiety going on, some depression, you've been hurt. One of the things I did for my client last weekend after I had a really bad experience at a meeting, getting inappropriate feedback, is I've just been goofing with him for days now, getting him to laugh because he's been so serious about life. People need to laugh, and it's important. You gotta laugh, and It improves your ability to cope with life. It really does. Here's another important one for right now, especially. It improves your immune system. That's why it's so important to be around people. But if you can't be around people, then you need to seek out and create your own system of laughter and humor and fun. And you need to lean on that, because we need that to boost our immune systems. So we need that. It's not a pill. It's not a vaccine. It's you. It's you. You can do that through taking care of yourself and not taking life so seriously. Because when we reduce our stress through humor and other things, our immune system gets stronger. And we're of more value to people that way as well. We're of more value to people as well. Here, another one. Relaxes the muscles. If you're a little tense, had a tough day, things happen, maybe you had a hard workout, other things going on, you got in a fight with somebody, you got tension, your back's tight, your neck's tight. Watch a funny movie, listen to some comedy, hear a funny story, you loosen up a little bit. You loosen up, you do. Just loosens you up. Works. And a couple more here on the physical side here. It actually burns calories. Joking around, laughing, walking around, telling stories. It burns calories. Sometimes as much as going for a 10-minute walk. It's crazy. Walking a mile. Just telling some funny stories, because you get that system going. Pretty powerful stuff. And the last thing here is improves your happiness. So I always tell people, those of us, because everybody wants to be happy, and I say, hey, look, you're standing on happiness. It's called kindness. Just go out and do something fun, kind for somebody. Open a door, do something for them. Go to lunch with them. Tell them a joke. Right? Tell them a funny story. Make fun of yourself. Self-deprecating. Tell them something you did. Maybe they don't have a family and you told them something goofy your kids did. Or, there's a lot of power in that, guys. There's a lot of power in all this. So, hey, look, as we finish up here, don't forget, if you like this stuff, share what we're doing here with CC and goingsolomedia.com, and tell people about us, and you can learn a lot of things at the same time. Maybe it gives you a break from the day and helps you to cope better with your life. But in the meantime, go watch something funny. Go tell a funny story. You quit taking yourself so damn seriously. All right, guys, this is Coach Arnie. Until next week. This is the WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, radio, TV, and podcast, #1 internet talk network. Thank you, CC, for everything you do. We appreciate you, and I'll see you guys next week.